All right, we're going to have a chat about some shoulder stuff. This is going to be a video in response to my mentor working on his thoracic mobility, and it's something in me that's not in the best place right now, but I have had good thoracic mobility and shoulder mobility in the past. But basically we're going to be looking at shoulder flexion and how the shoulder blade, the ribcage angle and all of these things come together. So the first thing I want everyone to have a look at is how much you can move your arm while messing with how it should move. So first thing we're going to do is depress your shoulder blade. So I'm pushing actively this shoulder down to my hip. And now as I lift my arm, I'm going to continue to try and contract my lat and pull my shoulder down to my hip. And you can see, this is getting harder and harder. And if I keep going, I'm getting some weird rib ab stuff going on. It goes to a point where you kind of can't lift it anymore. This is one of the issues that a lot of people struggle with if they can't just lift their arms overhead. So people who are getting into handstands and struggle to get arms up, they quite often are stuck in a little bit of lumbar extension, and shoulder blades are locked in place and they're not gliding around the rib cage. And for something like a bench press, that might actually make you really, really strong and stable in the shoulders. But it means that your mobility is going to be shit for things like a high bridge and a handstand. So one of the simplest ways we can do that is allow the shoulder blade to move. Now you can see, my mobility is pretty damn good. So without actively moving the shoulder blade, I can get my arm straight up. But if you are one of these people that's like, oh, I can't really keep going, if you actively elevate and lift, you'll get some more shoulder range. If shoulder blade stability is a thing, there's a couple of things we can work on. One of them is the seated reach, and I really, really like this. I mostly use this with people that are going through breathing mechanics changes. So if we're locked down and you can't feel the expansion of the rib cage, it generally means the thoracic spine is going to be stuck in a little bit of kyphosis. Then that's probably going to mean that your shoulders are then stuck in a certain position. So you want to go really light with this to start with. So I'm going to grab 2.5 and a 5 kilo. And what you're going to do is inhale, exhale, allowing the abs to pull the upper ribs down, and then I'm reaching forward. Ribs down, exhale, inhale. Now I'm reaching here. What this should do is actually get the serratus anterior. Those wicked muscles that on shredded dudes look like fingers coming and wrapping down the rib cage. That is going to help anyone with winging shoulder blades keep the shoulder blade sitting against the rib cage, which gives you more strength in your bench press. It gives you more pulling power. It gives you better range. Because now we're not getting stuck here because the shoulder blade can't move and it doesn't want to anteriorly tilt. So shoulder blade's sitting on the back of the rib cage. That's my rib cage, this is my shoulder blade. Anterior tilt is like pushing the bottom of the shoulder blade into the rib cage. Posterior tilts, going the other way. Posterior tilts, bottom of the shoulder blade into the rib cage. Anterior tilts this way. If we're stuck here, you can't really upwardly rotate and elevate. We need a little bit of posterior tilt. So this reach helps the serratus pull the shoulder blade onto the right rib cage and keep it there. So another way we can start adding to this, I'm gonna have to move this bench so you guys can see. So let's go here. Let's get a bigger plate. So now we can start coupling with, let's use the 2.5 because it's easier. So with a lot of people that I use this as a very rudimentary thing to develop that sensation of, oh yeah, serratus are on. Ribs, lower abs, ribs are down. You can feel the expansion, you can feel the serratus and the lat working to help pull the shoulder blade in. Gives you this, helps with the stability, all these little muscles keeping the shoulder blade in the right place. Then you can elevate and get more and more and more and more range. Then when we start looking at something like developing a high bridge, it's not just the shoulder blade range and it's not just the shoulder range, it's the coupling of the glenohumeral joint, so the ball and socket joint here, the shoulder blade, and then thoracic extension. So this top part of your spine being able to bend. Most of us are stuck here because most of us sit at a freaking desk all the time. So there are many ways. This is just one. What I like to do is set my shoulder blades right on the edge of the bench, hips up, plate up, drop the hips, reach. Now I'm not just trying to reach overhead, I'm trying to elevate the shoulder blades as well. And that's really going to start coupling this movement of thoracic extension. Whoa-wee. The lat tri crossover, so it's going to strengthen this and this together to keep the shoulder joint in place and stable. Hips down, plate overhead, and I'm pushing in the direction of my fingers. Hopefully you can see that. So I'm pushing away from my head, I'm lifting my shoulders towards my ear, I'm doing a shrug. And that opens the T-spine tremendously. And just for shits and giggles, let's have a look at where my bridge is. I'm not expecting much here because, well, I haven't done any bridge work for ages. I've spent most of my training career being too mobile in the shoulders. It cuts my head off when it's down. Too mobile in the shoulders. And I just don't do mobility work anymore. I just work on the strength and I don't have any shoulder issues anymore. So let's have a look at this bridge anyway. From the ground. So I'm trying to mimic what I just did on the bench. I'm trying to think posterior tilt. Posterior tilt, so keeping the lower abs, holding the rib cage down. This is going to protect your lower back. Shrug. Like, not too bad. Oh, they're going to be buried on my computer somewhere, so I'm not even going to bother trying to share clips of what level I've hit with my bridge in the past. But those two things really help, and even just doing them as the warm-up while I'm talking here, I don't think my bridge would have been that high had I not done them, and I did a very small amount. The other side of it is always nervous system. These positions require tissue change and nervous system adaptation. So you need to be able to breathe. You need to be able to slow your breathing and your nervous system will accept the position faster. Cheers.